Hello, Feasgar Math, and welcome to the very first Learning Gaelic podcast. Now, before we begin, we just need to cover a few basic essentials. First of all, this podcast begins for people who have absolutely zero knowledge of Gaelic. It's more designed for people who want to speak than people who want to write, although as we progress, we'll try and cover both. There's many resources out there at the moment for people who want to learn Gaelic, but I find many of them don't really cover what I want to hear. So a few people have been asking me, where do I learn Gaelic? Or how can I speak Gaelic? Or how do I interact with the language? And so I decided to make a series of podcasts to help you with that. I don't claim to be a perfect Gaelic speaker, although I do come from a Gaelic speaking family. But I'm hoping what you learn on here will be enough to get you started. And then as we advance, we can move on to more complicated things. So, your first ever bit of Gaelic. Well, you heard it there just a moment ago when I started. I said, Feasgar Math, Feasgar Math, good afternoon, Feasgar Math. And from there, of course, you can use or ask things like, how are you? And what's your name? And these kind of general greetings. And that is where we're going to start today, with the basics. So to get us started then, good afternoon, Feasgar Math. Ceud Mile Failte, 100,000 welcomes. Ceud Mile Failte. And for those of you who know anything about Irish pubs, it's usually written above the door of the bar, Ceud Mile Failte, 100,000 welcomes to you. Is Irish Gaelic and Scottish Gaelic the same? No, it's not. It's very, very different. In fact, Irish Gaelic has much more rich religious vocabulary in it. Also, in the past, Gaelic has been varying and changing by area. Amongst Gaelic speakers, we all agree that if you're from the island of Uist, nobody understands you, whether you speak English or Gaelic, because they have a very different type of Gaelic. In Ireland, across the water, there's parts of the north speak Gaelic, but as you move south, it becomes different. So as I mentioned earlier, we're focusing completely on Scottish Gaelic. Feasgar Math, good afternoon. Ceud Mile Failte, 100,000 welcomes. Ceud Mile Failte. How are you? Ceamara Hashiv. Ceamara Hashiv. How are you? In Gaelic, if you speak to friends and relatives, then you can say Ceamara Ha-u instead of Ceamara Ha-shiv, because Ceamara Ha-shiv is a little bit formal for people maybe that you don't know, or perhaps for your grandfather or someone that you want to be very polite with. Ceamara Ha-shiv, and it's used for both men and women. Ceamara Ha-u is the same. It's for both men and women. So, Feasgar Math, Ceud Mile Failte. Cimara Hau. Is mise a Joseph? Is mise Joseph? I'm Joseph. Okay, so there we are. These are your first ever Gaelic words. Feasgar Math, Ceud Mile Failte. Cimara Hau. Is mise Joseph? And I'm going to be building on this every time that we meet so that we can get a good conversation going. The next thing that we want to talk about is small talk, because as you know, in any English-speaking environment, small talk is very, very important. And you have to know how to hold a conversation about nothing. Okay, so you meet your friend, and we'll go over this one more time. Feasgar Math. For example, Kevin. Feasgar Math, Kevin. Notice the in there. We always put the when we're talking to someone. Now, that can actually change the pronunciation of the person's name, because once you put the before a person's name, it creates a grammatical chain. It means that you have to put another letter after their first name. So, for example, if I said, is mise Mary? And then you said, hello, Mary. An H would go in after the M, and then that changes to Vary. Is mise Mary? Hello, Vary. Cimara Hau. This idea of limiting or putting an H in after certain letters, that there's a grammatical instruction for that, but we're not going to go into that now. So we're just going to stay with the English name Joseph, and it's going to be a Joseph. Hello, a Joseph. Cimara Hau. Cimara Hau. Or Feasgar Math. Cimara Hau, Joseph. And I can say in response, Gleva. Very good. Or Gu Ma. Now you'll notice there, Gu Ma and Gle Va. And that Va is caused by an H going in after the M. Don't worry too much about that for the moment, okay? Try to hear the sounds. What have we done so far? Feasgar Math. Try to say after me. Feasgar Math. Is mise Joseph? Hello, a Joseph. Cimara Hau. Gle Va. Or Gu Ma. Gle Va means very good, or very well. Gu Ma means well, or fine. Are you with me so far? Let's stop there for a moment, and let's just recap on what we've said already. So, we're on basic introductions. Feasgar Math. Hello, Feasgar Math. Cimara Hau. Gle Va. Cimara Hau. Gle Va. And I'll try to write these in the show notes so that you have a better example of how they work. So, Feasgar Math. Cimara Hau. Is mise Joseph? Ceud Mile Failte. 100,000 welcomes. 100,000 welcomes. Gu to the podcast. Okay, 100,000 welcomes to my podcast. And we'll talk about what my podcast is in Gaelic another time. Okay, so we're over the worst part. Okay, we've done good afternoon. I'm going to say them in English now, and I want you to tell me if you can repeat them. Good afternoon. Feasgar Math. How are you? A formal version of how are you. CIamar sibh. Let's try the informal version now. CIamar u. CIamar u. 100,000 welcomes to you. Ceud Mile Failte. Ceud Mile Failte. And when you say it fast, it sounds like Ceud Mile Failte. Ceud Mile Failte. Ceud Mile Failte. There we are. There's some phrases to get you going. And also, my name is mise. Mise Joseph. Mise Joseph. And if you're repeating someone else's name, you would say, hello, and then the name. Hello, Joseph. And as I mentioned earlier, that can change the spelling of the person's name. So if they say, is Mise Mary? Hello, Vary. And the same happened with Gleva and Guma. Gleva means very good. Guma simply means good. So you can hear the sound changed there because an H was inserted after the first letter. That's called lenition, and it's one of the most complex bits of Gaelic grammar. And don't worry, because most Gaelic speakers don't do it properly because they never remember to do it, even if they're native speakers. So MH, the sound is V. Okay, and there's other things happen when you put the letter H in. After other letters, it can change the sound completely. So there we are. That's our Gaelic for today. I hope you found this useful. And we're just going to go over it again and again to make sure you've got it right. So, hello, Ceud Mile Failte, gu alaba. Hello, 100,000 welcomes to Scotland. Hello, Ceud Mile Failte, gu alaba. Is Mise Joseph. Failte gu. Failte gu. And then I'm going to say in English at the moment, my podcast. Failte gu. My podcast. Feasgar Math. Feasgar Math. CIamar. CIamar. Gleva. Very good. Or gu ma. And the other things we touched on is when you say a person's name, you put a before it, and that in turn changes the sound in some letters, not all of them. So is Mishamari, hello Avari. But with English names they stay the same, of course. Is Misha Joseph, hello a Joseph. We'll look more at names maybe another time. Well, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope this is a lovely introduction for Gaelic. I'll be back again soon with another short podcast, just to go over what we've done already and to help you. So, goodbye for now. CIamar.